You're everywhere. You're everywhere.
Oh no, your singing voice is
It's awful.
Welcome back to the No Bad Shots podcast. Stephen, Madison, Alyssa Charleston with you. Just two bitter college athletes. Not only can we not play college basketball anymore, we don't get to be paid, and college athletes get to be paid. Name, image, and likeness, big changes, easily the biggest change in college basketball. Stephen, if you were to have your jersey sold at the Vandal store or online, 34, Madison on the back, how much does it go for, and who else other than your parents buys it?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think the material, I don't know the prices of material that Nike was making back then, but I don't know. It's crazy. Probably $50, come get it from the
Let's
Vandals.
go.
I don't know. But
I
it
think
is
that's great.
interesting. Yeah. It is interesting though, because we were the face of a program that, we only had a couple thousand fans.
It is tough, and I think it would have maybe brought more into it. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see if it really does bring more fans into it. But that idea, have to give credit where credit's due. Tate Frazier on Twitter, he also does a podcast, College Basketball. He thought of that idea as if we were to sell these jerseys, schools should start selling jerseys of former stars, and the players should get their due cut. They send the money to former athletes if they were to sell it now, But name, image, likeness, huge change. It was coming down no matter what. I think everybody kind of saw it since January, February. It was really going to happen. We saw major deals happen. The first one was the twin sisters at Fresno State signing with Boost Mobile, multi-million-dollar deal.
Yeah, something like that. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
Boost
and then you were
Mobile.
seeing a 16-year-old. This is even going back to high school now.
Well, yeah, now it's opening up the floodgates for high schoolers because now you're not worried about your amateurism, which everybody's worried about, like playing certain things or whatever, and you get a little bit of money, then you get screwed on it. But now it's opening the floodgates for people to make millions of dollars in high school, and now you're going to get even more corrupt stuff from these shoe brands and all these clothing brands and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting toss up to see what happens with it and how they're going to try to regulate it if they can at all.
Yeah, that is going to be the tough thing because they already were so uptight in policing all these other recruiting violations, and they have all these other things to worry about. Now they're going to try to do this as well. I talked to actually Gonzaga athletic director Mike Roth about this, and I was like, are they going to clamp down and like tighten up? And he was like, well, yes, probably, but we're kind of in favor of that because that it's now out in the open. So certain recruiting violations are still obviously illegal, but it's not exactly on the school to police that. And with name, image, and likeness overall, you and I, we're not mad at University of Idaho. We're not bitter toward University of Idaho.
No.
It's the NCAA that continually restricted us. Idaho couldn't do anything, to help us. And
hey, we did get the one check, though. We did get that one check, though, that had nothing to do with name, image, and likeness, but had to do with Idaho not giving us full scholarship. So that's what the payback.
What's going to happen with this though? Like former student athletes create lawsuits to sue for what they might have been able to make? It would be really hard to prove. I don't know if lawyers want to jump on that, but at that age, I mean, you think of some of the superstars during our time, football, basketball across the country. I mean, those guys, Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
He probably still did make some money no matter what.
Johnny Manziel, same type of thing.
Yeah, would have made so much. Baker and Mayfield.
Yeah, and like you said, you have these guys that, okay, so we're going to sell jerseys from when they played now, could sell for a ton of money. But then, like, what did he do with the whole Reggie Bush situation where he won the Heisman and he wants it back now because he took money? Now you're going to the history books. What are they going to do with that? I mean, they can't move that.
You can't make those things right. And
they're voting on it, aren't they? Aren't they going to vote on that? I thought I saw something that said they're trying to figure it out, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
I would love to know
because
how that plays out.
It's one of the most prestigious awards you can win in football, period. So
yeah, and he's claiming he didn't do anything wrong or
Except give
illegal.
$400,000 and his parents get a house. But yeah, besides the point,
Yeah,
that's what
huge.
that is.
That's what it, like. If that's still a recruiting violation, so that would still be illegal now because you can't get paid for your athletic performance. That needs to be clear. Like the schools can't be involved in these deals, and that's what Mike Roth and I'm sure a lot of athletic directors don't like is they can't be helping or like counseling their student athletes a ton with those deals. Like you have to be pretty hands off. And that's what the NCAA will be monitoring because they don't want schools taking advantage of athletes, but they also, the primary thing is businesses taking advantage of athletes, which I don't really see happening because if you're making money, that's still 10, 15, 20 millions of dollars more than what former athletes were making. So I don't really feel like they can be that taken advantage of. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be weird because you have to know your worth. So you have to have someone that is like showing you what, because it's hard to understand it. Like even like when I started podcasting, it's hard to understand sponsorships and ads unless you have someone that knows what they're doing. So it's going to be the same with these kids. It's like, okay, so I have 10,000 followers on Instagram. What can I do with that? How can I profit off that? And if someone comes in and says, oh, I'll give you $5,000 to post this or whatever, you have no idea if that's right or wrong or sounds good. Like, shoot, if they gave me $5,000 to say, hey, go to Lewiston Toyota to get yourself a brand new Camry, hey, I'm posting it. But I had like no followers, so yeah, no one's coming for me.
You don't know that. You could have had a big social media following. If you would have known the effort you would have put into it. If
well, what about like billboard stuff? What about like Big Sky Media, like or like those type of days? What's happening with that? Because we were put on school billboards.
Right.
So is that still nothing?
Cities. I don't know. That's going to be interesting because like Big Sky, if they use one person or one football player to market, they put his face on his or her face, all over, media guides and stuff. I doubt they can make money from that. But it has been a way for the NCAA to make money for so long. And I wonder if certain sponsorships like Idaho sponsorships, the businesses they already have deals with, every company only has a certain amount of sponsorship dollars. So are they going to pull some of the money they have in the school and give it to athletes if they think that that's more, marketing their product better, if they can get it on social media rather than have more money go into the University of Idaho or Gonzaga or the University of Washington? Like, will those sponsorship dollars change because they're going to student athletes? That's another thing that I think is going to be interesting.
Well, it's interesting to think of it that way because you probably can pay a student athlete less and probably just get as much exposure than like dealing with a school. Exactly. You're going to get more exposure. I don't know if you're going to, I feel like you'll end up paying them less. I feel like an institution is going to have more grounds of like, hey, you're going to be all over all this, but it might not be directly to like the audience that you're trying to go to, if that makes sense. Like, okay, I can put freaking banners all over the baseball field, but who's going to see them? Like, you're paying $500,000 for it to be at this, and this, and fans barely walk by it. But let's say your star wide receiver posts it, 100,000 people saw it instantly right then. So it's gonna be, it'll be weird to see what like Gambino's. They could have given me free spaghetti for a lifetime. I could have gone there for their frozen cheesecake after dessert, the confetti cheesecake. It's sad. It's sad that I missed out.
You really missed out. I could see you talking about like jokingly businesses taking advantage of athletes. Like if you would have given Stephen $5,000, you would have found him posting pictures of him in like a giant bathtub of spaghetti and meatballs if necessary, eating breadsticks. You'd do it for $5,000.
I would have been at Tri-State Ace Hardware Mix, just outside standing there with a big old logo on my head. If I had $5,000 in college,
doing the sign flipping.
I was trying to
in your basketball jersey.
I was scraping together money, man. It's tough.
It really is. A lot of schools, we were lucky because Moscow has a great cost of living overall. But if you're living in Seattle, I can't imagine some of these UW athletes, they have to pay for rent. And we know, a couple of years ago, they were not, giving sufficient amount of money to all athletes across the board because of the NCAA. So it's going to be fascinating. The two things I do want to clear up for people who don't know, because this is such a confusing thing. So you can sign agents, but that agent cannot say that you have to use them if you go pro. So like if Stephen signed an agent in college to help him get these deals, that agent can't say, hey, so also when you go pro, you have to use me. They literally can't even put that in there. So that's that. The other thing is with, cool, my mind just blacked out. Love when this happens. With, states, here we go. Wow, good morning. With states, certain states having laws about it and other states not having laws pertaining to NIL, there's been like a,
What do you mean? Wait, hold on. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so all these southern states had NIL laws going into effect on July 1st.
Okay.
And that really pushed the NCAA because they had to make interim laws because they were like, oh my gosh, these states are going to start allowing their athletes to profit off their name, image, likeness if it goes through. And it was literally going to happen. Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, SEC
all the
country,
football, all the football sports, schools.
Exactly. So they were going into July 1st. That really pushed the NCAA to make interim rules so that all 50 states could allow it. But it was actually an advantage for Washington to not, and it seems like it's kind of an advantage when you don't have a law because you don't have to follow strict rules.
Yeah.
And each school gets to make their own policy. So if you violate that policy, so each school like Idaho State or University of Idaho or Gonzaga can create their own policy. That way they can also like screw. Do you have a little kitty coming around?
Yeah.
Stephen got a cat.
Out. Yes, I did.
Face. He was like struggling to move.
Trying to get it away. But yes.
Okay.
But yes, back to the policy though. Sorry, I was getting sidetracked by that. But that is interesting though. If certain states have different rules, it just gets stickier and stickier with different situations, different places, and the amount of kids that are in college.
It gets messy.
How many total student athletes is there? Like 50, like a lot.
A lot. I mean, if you're talking D1 through D3,
hundreds of thousands.
No, hundreds of thousands.
Athletes? You're kidding me. There's 330 schools in D1 at least. So you're talking about you're talking a lot. You're talking a massive amount.
460,000.
Yeah, I was about to say it's
I was thinking Division 1. That was the number in my head. Not like we're superior beings or anything.
You're talking about Division 1 basketball. That's what you're thinking of. 3,000.
Yeah. All right.
No, but just think about that. You have
that part, okay?
Yeah, we'll cut that out. But you have a large amount of people.
Yeah.
400,000 people that are doing separate deals. It's good for them because people are gonna learn quicker the ins and outs of businesses. But I can just see the NCAA is so frustrated because they can't control what is going on.
Yeah. It's going to get so messy, and I don't envy any athletic directors because this is a headache trying to monitor all this stuff. The high schooler we were talking about, the 16-year-old Jalen Lewis, he signed a $1 million deal. 16 years old, $1 million for Overtime Elite to play for this Overtime Elite, which is kind of like an AAU team. Stephen, what do you?
Yeah, what I was reading, it's basically a new league where it's a transformative league where they're trying to basically kind of do what LeVar did with the JBA, the Junior National Basketball Association, where it's just a separate league.
Really great guy, LeVar Ball. We all really enjoy him.
So business minded. $400 shoes, $100 sandals. Hey, go get them. That's what our merch is going to be. But it's basically the league that it's just trying to cut out the NCAA. It's what everyone's been trying to do forever. But when there's serious money, $1 million, that's how you try to build it slowly by getting one high schooler and get the next high schooler. And like I was telling you earlier, I was reading an article that at this point right now, people are still intrigued by going professional or playing in the G League Ignite, which is very interesting because you'd think they would want to go back to school, but that's not the case right now.
Yeah, that's the other thing we're going to see in the next couple of years. I think it's going to be at least 2 years until we see really a major shift, if it's going to go one way or the other.
Let's take a second from our episode to talk about our sponsor, the everydayfan.com. I love these guys over at the Everyday Fan. They write, they talk sports. They got everything you need, whether it's the NFL, NBA, or even the EPL League. They have got you covered, but they do not stop there. From pop culture to wrestling and entertainment, they have something for everyone. With some of the best writers in the game, come get a fresh perspective from everyday fans like yourself. Go check out their podcast, Everyday Fan Sports podcast they have. It's unbelievable. They got all the information you need. Go check them out on a daily basis. They're posting, tweeting, everything, all day, every day. TheEverydayFan.com. Go check them out.
I have a fun, quick game for you if you are done with. We're still talking NIL, but this is kind of a
Yeah.
fun last name game. Unless you have something else to say about it.
No. That's it. What's this
Okay,
game you have?
so
Some cat and mouse game?
I've seen on Twitter some athletes with these interesting last names. They're like, there's this person named Morgan Piper, and they're like, hey, any plumbing company, reach out to me. Something piping, da da da.
Yeah.
Not the one that I would love to go for.
No,
We're talking plumbing and toilets. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that one, but I'm going to take you through some names on Idaho football's roster, and you're going to give me first reaction to what company might represent them.
I got you.
Okay, are you ready? And I'm just looking through them right now. This is going to be okay.
Nothing good, huh? Idaho's not exciting. Idaho's not exciting.
Well, they are. Oh, okay. Mujib Rufai.
Rufai?
Rufai. Rufai. He's from Portland.
I mean, Portland. Shout out Portland.
Shout out Portland. He's a DB.
Oh, DB. There's a good roofing company for sure for that guy. He could definitely. There's got to be a good one from Moscow.
Mujib Rufai, and I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your last name, but it's a sweet last name. Get your Rufai.
How old is he? What year? What year
He's a
is he?
redshirt sophomore.
Nice.
Okay, cornerback, freshman out of Burien, Davis Danga.
Dang.
Really good ones.
Danga. He sounds like he could. That sounds like a good coffee shop could get him. Maybe like maybe Dutch Bros in Moscow could get him. They can
Okay.
get his own drink after him. Hey, Danga. Get that Danga. It's got like Red
Danga.
Bull. It's got some Red Bull / coffee in it. It's like a Four Loko of coffees.
Four Loko. It really is. Get your mind right, but also so wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Josh Guzik, redshirt freshman, offensive lineman out of Spokane.
Oh, sounds like you could get one from Toys R Us for freaking like a slime. Sounds
Guzik?
like a Guzik.
Is Toys R Us still a thing?
I don't even know. I know. Crazy thing. I used to go to Toys R Us as a kid with my grandma for every birthday to get one present.
That's so cute.
Red Robin. We go to Red Robin and then Toys R Us. That was the day.
Honestly, as a 29-year-old, I can't think of a better day than that now. Red Robin and then Toys R Us.
For sure. Guzik,
okay, so Josh Guzik.
That could even be like a gyro. That could be like a Greek
Euro?
place. Euro, sorry.
This is why I chose this, and this is why I'm having you do it. Because you come.
There's a good Euro place in Moscow, though. I'm pretty sure I've had it. Mike's. I think it's a Greek place down there.
Oh yeah, Mike's is so good. Okay, look at us. We're like basically a
sign them up
podcast. Okay,
we'll start helping these kids out. We'll just get them deals. Just give us a cut.
There you go. There's so many freshmen on here, so we don't know these names. But Desau Puffer.
Desau.
I think it's Daseau Puffer.
Puffer.
He's a redshirt freshman, wide receiver.
Ooh, Puffer. That makes me think of like tater tots, like just puffy.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I was thinking marshmallows, maybe a pillow, maybe a mattress company.
Oh, mattress company. Yeah.
But keep going with your tater tots.
I don't know. I was just thinking tater tots for some reason. Maybe that's just my mind right now. But Puffer. That's good. There's a sleep. What's by that chair? Isn't there a sleep mattress one right there by that big red chair, or is that a rest center?
I think it's a mattress for. It's changed so much.
Yeah, the big
so
red
many
chair.
things in Moscow have changed so much since we've
Best
been
Western.
there.
Just get them Best Western for pillows and beds. Yes.
There you go. Easy. Okay, Puffer, you're welcome. Let's go. I'm trying to find somebody that we may know. Okay, actually, we know this one. I mean, well, his name isn't super crazy. Connor Whitney. He's a junior tight end out of Spokane. Connor Whitney. Oh, I'm immediately thinking of Pink Whitney. That's
what I was just thinking. Pink Whitney's from Barstool.
Yeah, it's a pink lemonade vodka from like NHL former hockey players, but I don't think they can do alcohol.
Whitney, yeah, that's tough. You always think Pink Whitney off the rap.
Yeah, great tight end out of West Valley. I think I did a story on him once when I was working at KXLY. Okay, last one.
Big time.
This one should be, I'm so big time. This one should be fun. Linebacker, redshirt junior. He actually transferred from Washington State, and he was a monster at Washington State when he was playing. Fave.
Fave.
Mm-hmm.
What are those? I don't know why my head went to red bento and edamame, but Fave sounds like he could be. There could be some type of tie to that.
With
Fave
red bento.
fava beans. Is that a
Oh,
thing?
beans. It
Fava
is, but
beans.
I don't
What is
know if
that? That has
has
nothing to do
anything
with.
to do with
That's,
it.
I'm just picking literally my favorite like restaurants in Moscow too.
Yeah, smart. I mean, also Winco, I'm sure sells fava beans, and I'm all about Winco. I was thinking like flavor fave, like
Ooh,
flavor snow cone, flavor fave,
I'm
far
trying to keep it
away
local. What's in Moscow that could have that though?
at Dutch Bros. They have way too many flavors. Or Red
Five
Star
star,
coffee.
Red Star. Why I keep calling it five star?
We need to go back to Moscow and get a better
Seriously.
idea of all the places. I'm
Okay,
just
well,
curious to see. Oh, Corner Club can't sign anybody. I wish Corner Club could sign someone. Maybe a group of 2 former student athletes that won't be in trouble if you sign them.
to
Corner
their
Club.
podcast sponsorship. Thanks, Corner Club.
Thanks, Corner Club. Check.
What? Okay, if you had one place that you could be sponsored by in Moscow, which one would it be?
That is so tough. I think what immediately pops in my head is I loved sangria,
Okay, so
but
you
I
want
was such a
ritzy,
frequent.
expensive, like
Well,
what
just
you
so I
want?
can go there all the time.
Get a
Like
big
just have a meal. Like,
sangria.
oh, by sangria. Honestly, I ate so much McDonald's in college that I would not
Jeez.
mind that so much. It's atrocious. I don't want to think about it. I got gift cards from family members and
Oh yeah.
coaches to McDonald's as like
What were
our
you
secret
ordering?
Santa. Secret Santa. This is not a recruiting violation. Secret Santa.
What were you ordering?
I always got like sometimes I do always did the quarter pounder. Sometimes I'd mess around and do a double quarter pounder. McChicken, mixing it with the
Yes.
double cheeseburger
Yes, we
and putting
called
them
that
together. Yeah.
McDank. McDank.
Okay, good. Because that's way better than the name that I had.
And I'm guessing you haven't you don't eat McDonald's anymore.
I don't. I
Yeah,
try to
good for you.
eat reasonable. We were talking about diet. Do you still eat McDonald's? We're talking about that post-college diet, losing our identity, losing our
Losing our
bodies.
minds.
It gets better. Do you eat McDonald's?
Rarely. I try to stay away from it for sure, but I definitely have my guilty pleasures of other places. So,
Okay.
like,
I think
yeah.
go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say to answer, I'm so
Go ahead.
selfish. I'm literally only thinking about myself as you're answering. I was going to say, if I were to do a national brand, I would love to do a popcorn brand, be sponsored by Orville Redenbacher. I think that would be the most
Okay. Well, that's
prestigious.
yeah. You're talking about a
company.
national brand that's so out of Moscow's league.
So out of my radar.
Yeah, I wish if I had a national brand, it'd be Lamborghini. So yeah, it's crazy, but I love it.
Hey, as long as I have a big social media following, anything can happen, which I don't. So
I
who
know.
would you have sponsor you in Moscow and then nationally? Like, what would be your number one?
Man, there's so many good places. I did love Gambino's.
Yes.
So many good stuff there. It'd be tough. Where else did I go a lot? I mean,
There was local
Winco.
grinds back in the day.
Yeah, I got tired of local grinds. Maybe that's because we ate it so much after games. But
CD's Steakhouse Smoke Pit.
yeah.
Martin's.
Oh, I liked the ale house. I liked the ale house a lot. That was good. That was always really
Such a
good.
winner.
But like, so those bars, they can't tie their names to kids, can they? No.
I don't think so, because I know, like, I just read an Idaho Statesman article, so they were talking about ISU. They're not really relevant in terms of, I don't like bringing up schools that we were rivals with, but Idaho State was not a rival for us. We would have smashed them.
Yeah, I never lost them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They were talking about we can set up our own NIL policy. If student athletes violate that, we could not renew their scholarship. We could choose to not renew their scholarship. So if they go out and sign with a marijuana CBD company, and they choose, even if the school would probably be like, hey, probably don't do this, and if you do, here's the ramifications.
That'd be interesting. What happens if it's your star player? Like, these coaches are not going to want to do that.
So true.
Like if I signed with like a freaking Natty Light, and and Burley came to me and was like, "Hey, like it'd just be like it's a battle." Like, no, they're paying me 50 grand to smash 2 beers every weekend on live camera. I gotta do
But
it.
in your bathtub of Gambino spaghetti
Ah,
at the same time, crush it on the head. But
dude, the
that's where
Stone Cold.
your affiliation with your school, the
Yeah,
fact that you play college sports makes you relevant. So like you still need to make sure that you're
yeah,
on
but kids are,
scholarship, unless you have a crazy following.
but kids are still going out there and doing that at parties and getting videotaped anyway. So
It's true.
you might as
Free
well
advertising, honey.
get paid for it.
Hope
No,
Street
yeah.
back in the day. All you
That
need to
makes
do is
sense. It's just like anything. You sign your life away to the school, so they're still going to have some control at the end of the day. I mean, you still need them. It's funny because obviously with like our other podcast, I've been able to know Max is Nice, the guy that impersonates LeBron, does all the impersonations, and
check out those videos. They're so funny.
He's so good, and he's grown his following massively. And like I spent a lot of time with him during my birthday down there, and he's like only 23. He still has 2 years left of eligibility. So once this came out, he was blowing up everybody. Like, hey, I got 2 years. If you know a Division I coach, give me their details. And so it becomes interesting because I was talking to him about it. I'm like I want to help him out, but you have to find the right coach in the right school that's willing to take a kid that's
strictly for
and don't get me wrong, it's not a bad idea. Like if I'm a lower end school and I know that he's not going to be a distraction and he's going to be actually going to help like during practice and whatever, that type of stuff, he could be somewhat of a draw to your crowd. So it's interesting to think about because like, and then who knows, maybe he like what if these guys start cutting deals with coaches? I don't know. Like, hey, I got a million. I get 1 million followers. I can get this much worth of brand recognition. I give you 20,000 for a year, and I'm making 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year.
Yeah, both of those ideas are super interesting because if you do have someone who has super high social media following, super high value, tons of people will watch them, and you're looking for that demographic. That would be genius to bring them to your school, as long as you said they're not going to be a distraction. For coaches, they already have rules outside of, what student athletes have. Like they can kind of do their own thing. Now I'm curious and I want to ask, like our former coaches, like other coaches, would you, if it was proposed to you, like, would you represent this brand or represent,
If I was closer with like a Division I coach, like personally, I would bring that to them because think about if you're at like Eastern Washington, even Idaho. If I brought someone like that that's Instagram famous and was on the team, that's still going to draw some more kids, more people to the games.
Yeah.
Period. Just depends. Like
the University of Idaho.
Yeah.
Like recognizing
their brand in general. Exactly.
Yeah. Totally.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna turn into like the whole actors paying for their kids to go to be on like the ski team at Stanford.
That's right. Was that USC that they were actually getting in trouble for?
The
girl from Full House, Rebecca.
Well, yeah. Well, did you see the documentary on that?
Oh, what was it called?
I can't remember. It's on Netflix. I watched it though. It basically broke down. It was the Stanford road team coach talked about it. It's actually really interesting. He got thrown under the bus. He's like on it.
Yeah.
He didn't even know anything about it. It's all higher up stuff, but they always toss the last person off. So
they sure do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a clean transition from getting thrown off a bus into the NBA Finals.
Chris Paul threw something last night. His game.
His left hand. I don't know what happened. So series tied up at 2-2. They were in Milwaukee. Milwaukee wins both games at home, which they needed. But Chris Paul has had 15 turnovers in the last 3 games. And last night he had 5, and 2 of them were super crucial. Yes, he might have injured his left hand, but what did you take from that game? And do you think he's going to be back to full health? Is he going to be back to what he was early on in the series when they go back to Phoenix?
Well, first off, home court advantage, like it just shows how much it matters. Like it's so loud in there. Like people don't realize like how much we've gone from having no fans to now just everybody's at the game. It's packed, and it just makes such a big difference. Like the energy for the Bucks was so much better these last 2 games at home, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm seeing with Chris Paul and the Suns it's starting to just get like, it's my turn, it's your turn. It's almost looking like Chris Paul at the Rockets with James Harden, where it's like throw it to Devin Booker, go. It's not as much like how they were moving the ball and getting all these easy threes for guys like
Mm-hmm.
Mikal Bridges, guys like Jay Crowder. And so it makes it tough. And like they obviously lost Sarge, which kind of hurts them too with their size. You got Kaminsky coming in there, which he's not much of a help. And
Frank the
so,
Tank.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just going to make the series a lot interesting. They're going to have to figure out how to keep the ball moving because, like before, they were just exploiting the ball screens with Brook Lopez, and now that the Bucks have changed up their like defense of how they're just fighting over and then getting back, recovering, it's making tougher shots. I mean, Devin Booker played unbelievable, but you can't. It's just like two guys going 1-on-1 all game. It's just they both have to be on fire, and they were for a little bit. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, but Devin Booker shooting wise, like field goal percentage wise, I don't think he's shot above 34%, I think was what I was
Ooh,
looking at, like in a
that's a
couple
good number.
games.
That's a good number, but yeah.
Debatable. Stephen's college jersey, big eye roll. Anyways, just kidding. Superstar. But he hasn't had like a crazy efficient night. Yes, he's put
No.
up big numbers,
Yeah.
but efficiency wise, and like that's the thing is, yes, you have Mikal Bridges, you've got DeAndre Ayton, which also he kind of disappeared. Like Giannis defense wise, I mean that block
It's
is
unbelievable.
the most memorable thing. I think if Milwaukee ends up winning this, like that's going to be insanely like. Was that Giannis? Like, what do you think was the biggest impact on DeAndre Ayton? Was he just kind of lost out there, or was it?
Yeah,
Because of the defense.
that block though, like people don't realize like how hard it is to like show on the ball screen how he did, and then the way he like showed it made Booker have to throw the pass how he threw it. Because if Booker throws the ball to the rim, there's no way that Giannis can get there. But since he was in the way of him, he threw it further and higher away, and it gave Giannis time to turn around. But it's unbelievable because you have to turn around and still spot the ball. Like most people, if you tell them to look this way and then jump and turn around, they'll just and I could lay it up on you and dunk on you because you're off balance.
Lost.
You don't know where the ball's at. So that was an unbelievable play. And to like how high he had to get up, unbelievable. But yeah, the matchup with Ayton, he's still getting the good looks. He's just kind of missing them, and they're just not. Yeah, he was just kind of dead the game 3. And then game 4, he still had the struggles. But I still think he gets back to the one-on-one. They're just not utilizing the ball movement and getting the matchups that they want. And so it's straight up like Giannis can guard anyone. Giannis, like, he plays so hard. It's unbelievable. Like there's no one that tries as hard as he does, and like you want him to succeed because of that. But it's showing, like it's coming through. I mean, that dude plays hard on offense and defense, and he's unbelievable.
Insane motor, and that's what coaches say about him too. Is he never turns off. But he's also, I mean, he was 2019 Defensive Player of the Year? Like he beat out, or maybe 18. It's either him or Rudy Gobert. He's a monster. And I think there needs to be something said for DeAndre Ayton had this crazy crowd, this playoff crowd at home, rally in the Valley in Phoenix. And the Suns had never been to the playoffs before this year since he'd been there. So he was like 2018 draft pick or 2017. Yeah. So he experienced his first big time away crowd. And like you said, like Milwaukee was loud. You've got David Bakhtiari chugging not 1, but 2 beers. And then his dad chugging a beer on the side too. Packers offensive lineman, I think.
Yes. One of the best in the NFL.
Crazy in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying DeAndre Ayton didn't play in the biggest away game of his life in Spokane Arena versus Buffalo when they lost? My bad.
That was in Spokane. I forgot about that.
Yes, it was.
Wow. His only year of college basketball, they were absolutely. Wait. Wow. I'm just trying to remember where I was with Gonzaga. We were in Boise.
They lost. Arizona was like a 4 seed or something, I want to say, or even higher.
They were a 2.
And they lost to Buffalo, who was good.
Buffalo won a few games after that, and then their head coach got a big job somewhere. I can't remember where.
It's the one guy's brother. I can't remember his name. The guy at
Arizona
Arizona
State.
Guy's brother. No, the one.
He has a brother.
What's
Bobby
his
Hurley?
name? Yeah, it's Hurley's brother.
Okay.
But
shout out to Hurley's brother for that cool job you got.
I can't remember his name.
I can't either. So it's fine. It's gonna come to you in the middle.
But the other thing is the discussion of Drew Holiday, how bad he's been offensively, but is he the one that's wearing on Chris Paul because of his size and strength?
Great call, because he has to go up against him over and over and over, and Chris Paul is not
He's
young
like
man.
boy, and he's like 6 foot 180. Chris Paul probably is, and Drew Holiday's like 6'3", probably two something. I'm guessing close to that. He's strong, and Drew Holiday is atrocious to watch sometimes on offense, and I'm just like, oh. But
The decisions.
yeah, he looks
Bad
good sometimes,
decisions.
but as long as he plays defense, obviously, Pat Connaughton, he's getting it done.
Big time role player. Let's go.
Big time.
That's the other thing. Like, can we talk about freaking Chris Middleton?
Oh
He's
man,
been so and if you can't see on video, my hand is going up and then down like a roller coaster. Chris Middleton put up 40 last night. He's made game winners. Maybe I'm a believer because I threw some shade on his name. Like, he shouldn't be that guy taking the shot at the end of the game, but he has proven he can make it here and there. But it's just like he completely disappears other games. And I know it's because the defense is adjusting for him, but other times it's just like he's just settling for contested
Mid-range.
jumper after contested jumper.
He reminds me of myself in City League right now. Just really wanting to get to the mid-range jump shot. Yeah, just settling because I don't want to go to the rim. But I had 30. I had 33. He had 40. One's NBA Finals. One's Thursday Night City League in Spokane Valley.
Stephen had to get that in there. Not bad.
Yeah, and I had to go to the hospital because I needed oxygen. But
pretty good for a senior citizen, Stephen. I'm pretty proud of you.
No, but Chris Middleton's mid-range, I like to watch it. When he's on, and it's special. He has a weird-looking shot, but he knows where to get it to, and he gets to his spots, and he is tough. He's tough to guard.
Okay, last question from me. Can Devin Booker do it the rest of the way? Like, Chris Paul doesn't look like he's going to be able to super easily step back, get back into it. DeAndre Ayton is kind of lost in the clouds. They are going back to Phoenix, but would you put Devin Booker high enough to take down these Bucks?
I don't know. I honestly think that if they don't win at home, it's over for sure to me. If they don't win this game 5, the series is over. It's going to be too tough. I just think that the bigger, older team is just wearing on this younger, more finesse kind of team in a way that it's going to end up coming down to jump shots. But then you got these guys like Giannis he never stops attacking the rim. Suns don't have a guy like that. I mean, you can live with these pull-up jumpers, and don't get me wrong, Devin Booker's shot is unbelievable, but when the threes don't fall, it gets real tough to score. And even Brook Lopez, he's even an inside presence, or like you can throw it up to him at the rim when he's around the rim. So I don't think the Suns have it in them left. I really don't, unless Chris Paul pulls out like a 30-piece, and if Jay Crowder can put 20 up and Mikal Bridges puts 20 and Booker throws 30, now you're looking at 130 points. But I think it's going to be tough for them. Yeah, good nice math. Just really good math.
That's what a degree gets you, folks. Don't go straight to the league.
Yes.
Go to college.
Go to college,
I like that.
And get sponsorship deals.
Yeah, make money. Okay, so Giannis, relentless. You think it's going to be the Bucks depending on how this Game 5 goes, because Game 4 was total turning point, I think, in a series.
But even the start of the game, though, it's like the Suns are hitting. Like, they came out, I was like, oh, shoot, this could not be good for them. But then even through, like, the time period of a game, you get these runs and you get these cool-offs, but it's starting to become more and more often in the game. It's harder, especially, like, I think we talked to Terrence about it. Like, when you play a team 7 times in a row or whatever, it gets drooling and drowning in defense and just schemes. It's never ending.
Yeah. Strategy and film, it's just chess, but boring, like really boring and really high cardio. Like, can you imagine chess, but also being completely out of breath? And
great for us to watch. It really is a chess match of these unbelievable athletes and players that it's crazy because, like, like how it is in a game. You don't look at it that way, but then you sit back and watch, you're like, geez, this is amazing. But it's like you don't get to see it like that. You're just like a piece out there. Even like watching Chris Middleton talk to the person after the game, it's like, dude, you just dropped 40 in a finals game. And you're still just like thinking about what's going on in the game and what's going on in the next series. Like, you have like no idea to appreciate it. It's interesting to see.
40 in a finals game. So impressive. Speaking of anything?
Speaking of impressive, you wanted to go back to my 33? Okay, so I had 2 threes.
Yeah, break it down.
And NBA threes, NBA three-pointer, okay. So look at that. I hit 3 or 4. That's the foul line. Impressive. I'm joking.
How many fouls did you commit?
Wow, that's actually a great question. So the game came down to 1 point. We won by 1. which we shouldn't have.
Wow.
3 Division I players.
Yikes.
I had 5 fouls. I got my 5th foul with like a minute left too, and we were playing 6. You get 6 in this league. And
Oh, good. Okay.
it's like pros, so
You guys are basically NBA players.
Yeah, basically.
You
But
can see the smile on Stephen's face right now if you guys are listening to the podcast.
I literally can barely make it up and down. But yeah, yeah, I got my 5th foul. It was interesting. I'm not a big fouler. I've only fouled out I think I fouled out 1 game in college.
You have to play defense to foul.
Yeah, so I played defense really hard, and I tried to steal it, and I got a foul. Then I was like, that's why I don't play defense. We won by 1, yes.
You did win by 1. Okay. And Connor Hill is on your team, and who else is on your team?
Q Johnson. I don't know if you remember him from Washington State.
Oh, Washington State, yeah.
And they transferred to Western Kentucky.
Oh,
They're still both in playing shape, and I'm not, so it helps a lot because
that does help. They get to do the running.
Yeah,
okay. Well, check in with Stephen's adult rec league next week as well.
Thursday. If you guys want to sponsor me, it's basically like college. You guys can sponsor me. Reach out.
Same.
I'll wear your logo on my headband.
Love it. On your head, you wear a headband. We have so much to talk about next podcast. What? Okay. Anything else from you? I want to shout out that we're getting back to normal life, and my shirt says beach bums, and there's cats, and we can do that now without masks on.
How's Seattle treating you? I know. It's a little tight over there on face restrictions or mask restrictions.
Face restrictions. That's your face can do whatever it wants out here. There's no mask restrictions. So I walk into, if you're vaccinated, and it's walking into QFC, walking into coffee shops without masks on. It's the weird part is feeling, and whatever your stance is on it, whatever your stance is on vaccines, whatever your stance on masks.
Make sure you clarify that, please. Please clarify that for the people.
Whatever that is, we're not judging. We're not trying to get into politics here. But for me, it's weird, walking into places and still not feeling guilty. I'm vaccinated. I'm saying that, but even though I am vaccinated, people still wear it. I'm like, don't judge me. What is it like in Spokane?
No one wears them, and I'm guessing that a lot of people aren't vaccinated out here. But
it's probably true. I don't know the numbers, but
there's a lot of different variants coming out now. So we'll see what happens with the coronavirus. Some countries are shutting down again.
Delta virus or Delta
variant
in Britain or England. What else was I going to say? Oh, I just want Hoop Fest to happen. I hope Hoop Fest happens out there.
It is. I just got an email about it too. September. Are you playing?
No, I need to figure out my stress fracture. So if anyone's still listening 43 minutes in, if anybody knows of a good medical doctor that can refer me to a decent podiatrist or a sports medicine person to figure out the stress fracture in the babyest little bone in my foot, please help me.
Are you having trouble? Are you having trouble finding a podiatrist that's good for you?
Just a good one. I had great people in Spokane, but it just didn't work out, and I need to get this thing better. I don't want to do a boot, but I'm fine. I might have to do it again just to heal this thing.
Boots, yeah. You had a rough time. You had a rough time in the boot. I saw you in the boot.
Yeah, and crutches.
It didn't fit you.
So bad. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I still walk 20 miles an hour.
Well,
can't slow down. But anyways. Oh, you just went out. Stephen just unplugged his microphone. What a rookie. Embarrassing. Anyways, I have to close this. Okay. You didn't hear anything of the names I just called you for unplugging your own mic. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you too. This is live from War Memorial Gym. It's Alyssa and Stephen.